last week, I got to just get right into this. Last week, because this program airs on Thursday, the 15th, so it would be about a week ago today as this airs. I see, as I'm on the internet looking at the Yahoo News or whatever they call it, I see a headline that I was like, what the fuck? And I can't remember it exactly, but it was something like South Korean officials crack down on dog meat trade. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I click this thing, Brian, this fucking story. Apparently, and now we're talking about South Korea, right? They're the baby faces, not North Korea, where the evil dictator has everybody living in poverty and squalor and famine and everything, but over in South Korea, where apparently, from what I've heard on television, they got a decent economy, and for a country that size and that part of the world, and you know, in big cities and things and such of that nature, right? It's where they got the fucking Olympics, for Christ, going on right now, and this was the point of the story. Apparently, the South Korean government in Pyeongchang, which I believe is the city that the Olympics are being held in, went to a bunch of the, I guess, restaurants and places that you purchase meat in the city and said, hey, just much like Hitler did in the 36 Olympics when he took down all the anti-Jewish propaganda to make Germany look good in front of the world. Everybody's in South Korea now for these Olympics. And they said a ixnay on selling dog meat. And I've heard the jokes, right? We've all done the jokes. You go to a low rent, you know, Chinese buffet out in the middle of nowhere. And you the General Toast Chicken, I bet that's Dalmatian. But that's a joke, right? I knew that there was some instance, and I would hoped years ago, and, you know, maybe somewhere out in a farm or a, you know, desolate area or whatever the fuck, where people in that part of the world would eat dogs. But I had no idea, because this article goes into the thing. First of all, some of the restaurants, there are 12 dog meat restaurants in Pyeongchang, South Korea alone. And some of them just told the government to go piss off and kept serving dog. And others, it said, took the dog off their menus and substituted pork or whatever the fuck, but put it back on because they were losing business. People were refusing to buy the other stuff. But it goes further than that. Apparently, this is not only a thing, but a big business. They have people that actually raise dogs purposely for meat. 2.5 million dogs are slaughtered and eaten in South Korea, according to this article, every year. And it gets even worse than that, because before they kill them, they torture them so that the meat will be more tender. And I'm reading this and I'm like, you motherfucker, if I could have jumped through the fucking computer screen, right, I would have gone to South Korea and started mutilating some motherfuckers that are goddamn serving dog, right? But once again, 2.5 million dogs a year. They have people that do this, that raise dogs specifically to supply these fucking markets and or restaurants where you can go in and eat dog. So I composed what I thought was a measured and reasonable statement that I issued on Twitter, and I will quote it now. I just learned South Koreans torture, slaughter, and eat 2 million dogs a year, 12 dog restaurants in Pyeongchang alone. From me to all Koreans, South or North, fuck you. You deserve to be eaten by dogs, but they've got too much taste for your filthy asses. Hope shithead does bomb you. I felt that accurately conveyed my feelings, right?
Yes, I would say that it accomplished that.
And I would assume that once that people found out about this, that this was going on somewhere in the world, that naturally they'd jump all over these people, right? You are not going to guess what happened. I mean, and many people did. Many fine people members of the Culture Cornette, follow me, etc., listen to the programs, use their left and right turn indicators. They were suitably outraged at this ridiculousness. But some other people defended eating dogs.
On what grounds?
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to take a big old sip of Sprite Zero because I've gotten a few of them written down. Cultural differences. Well, Jim, just, that's in their part of the world or in their country. That's just, like we do things they did. No, on so many different levels. And fuck your culture. I don't care about your culture if it involves torturing, killing, slaughtering, and eating dogs. Or condoning same. Cultural differences was the number one answer, ladies and gentlemen. That's okay. Well, what about if there was an island where it was the culture to goddamn, rape small children and then hang them from the highest yardarm in the British fleet? Would people be taken up for that? Here was another one. Well, Jim, cows are sacred in India. So they would be just as upset at you for eating cows here as no. Number one, no, because for one thing, the whole cow being sacred in India thing is a religion thing, so we discount that to begin with because it's bullshit, right? But no, it's not the same fucking thing. I did have a number of people said, oh, well, I don't really agree with it, but really all animals are here for food. Oh, for fuck's sake. What the fuck are you eating? Goddamn, try to eat an armadillo, motherfucker. This one hurt, though. This one hurt because there was a bunch of this, and I do accept some culpability here. You're a hypocrite, Cornette. You eat meat. And yes, and once again, and a lot of these people are people who don't listen to the program because I know that everybody out there in unison right now is chanting the answer that I'm about to give because I've said it many times. But yeah, there is an element of culpability here because this food habit is hard to quit. And if I was a vegetarian, I'd probably be as miserable a human being as Austin Aries is. But as I've said many times, if I had to kill my own meat, I would be a vegetarian because there'd be no other way around it because I would not be, whether it be cow or pig or chicken or whatever, if I had to do it. And as I've said many times, there's a guy that comes and pumps my septic tank out. And I wouldn't do that either, but somebody's got to do it. But, the point is, unfortunately for them, the cows, the chickens, and the pigs have pretty much lost this war. They are officially the food. And somebody has to do it. But past that, let's think about this for a second. What other kind of animal do you really need to eat? What kind of animal would it harm your life in some way besides a cow, a chicken, or a pig if you were never allowed to eat again? I don't like snakes. I'm not going to fucking take up for snakes, but I'm not going to eat one either. But and somebody's going to say, well, lamb chops or lamb or sheep or whatever. Well, I've had lamb chops a couple times. And to be quite honest, coming from a voracious eater, it wouldn't matter. I've had duck a couple of times at a Chinese restaurant that I may not want to go back to again. But horse, can't wait to eat that horse meat over at Morton's Steakhouse. Nobody says that, right?
No.
Okay. So does anybody, besides a cow, a chicken, and a pig, and I hate to go off topic here, we're going to get back to the dog eating in a second, but besides a cow, chicken, and a pig, does anybody really need in the rest of their life to eat a lamb or a duck or a horse or a dog or a cat or a chipmunk or gopher, possum, rabbit, squirrel, skunk, fox, deer? No. Bear, lion, tiger, oh my, rhinoceros, elephants, or really any fucking thing else in the mammal category except cows, chicken, and pigs, and I'm against treating them badly beforehand. And that's bullshit. But otherwise, in it, for fuck's sake, a cultural difference. Good. And lastly, and as a lot of people said, well, that's racist. That is so racist what you just said. I don't hate Koreans because of their race. I hate them because they eat fucking dogs. And I've just found out about this, and I'm upset about it. For fuck's sake. And then there was a tweet from a Korean-American guy. He's a fan. He said, hey, are you saying all Koreans? Because he said, I don't agree with this. It's from an older generation. You know, me and my wife, we don't put up with it. So I softened up a bit because that is fair. I said, okay, don't fuck all Koreans. Just fuck the Koreans that eat the dogs. But much like the United States, all citizens all have to bear some responsibility for inflicting Donald Trump on the world. If it is a society where it's legal, condoned, accepted, much less not widely protested and fucking vilified, then the whole country has to take some of the heat if there's not people actively trying to shut this down right now in a major way. And then somebody said, well, you don't understand. It's for the old, poor, toothless people because they put the dog meat in the stew and it's mushy and they can, I swear to God, somebody's saying this. Now, I've heard of poor senior citizens in the United States actually having to eat dog food. But seriously, South Korea, not the brutal dictatorship, and their social security system has the elderly citizens eating dog gruel, then something needs to be fucking talked about there. If torturing, killing, and eating dogs is a part of your culture, race, creed, gender, tribe, group, association, team, religion, lifestyle, or political affiliation, then fuck your goddamn et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Good Lord. Can you believe this?
I had no idea. I saw a little bit of the tweets. I had no idea you stirred up such a controversy with this. I mean, I don't understand how anyone could defend eating dog. I really don't. I mean, I have a little dog here that I love. And the idea that someone would eat a dog just kills me.
Well, it's just, and then on every level, not only eating the dog, well, if you can say, well, it's cultural difference, or then they purposely torture the animal first because of some back-asswards fucking 18th century bullshit that it makes the fucking meat tender, and then they, hop over the line 3 times, wave their arms, head, scream like a chicken. It's witchcraft. What the fuck? Seriously. And if it is something that older people do and they're growing out of it, then somebody needs to smarten everybody up. And somebody said, well, they had to do it during the war, the Korean War. That was 60 fucking years ago. Or was it 70? I can't count. For fuck's sake. But anyway, so I spend the weekend airing out and blocking people who were defending eating fucking dogs. And then, wait a minute, I got to go to my email because Monday morning, this pops up. Wait a minute. Okay. It's from Twitter. Hi, Jim Cornette. Your account has been locked for violating the Twitter rules.
Wow.
Violating our rules against hateful conduct. You may not promote violence against, threaten, or harass other people on the basis of race, ethnicity, national origin, sexual orientation, gender identity, religious affiliation, age, disability, or serious disease. I think that takes pretty much everything in. So I'm blocked for a week from tweeting or retweeting. I can see everything. But because I'm in a timeout because I was basically condemning the process of eating fucking dogs. Now, these Twitter fucks who we exposed them over a year ago, Brian, on the show here as it's a fucking work. It's a scam. The check mark, the blue check, the verification. It doesn't matter. They don't check and see if you are who you are or not. You can't get the blue check from them without I don't even think you can get it at all. You have to go to these people who then vouch for you, and you pay those people to vouch for you. And then Twitter tells people that you really are who you are. It's all a big fucking scam. And of course, I didn't pay for mine because when I found out about this and revealed it, one of the guys who does that type of thing got me verified for free just because he got a tickle out of it. But so we identified them as a scam a long time ago. Twitter, who let Russian bots elect Donald Trump president of the United States. Twitter, who let the actual guy who can bomb Korea threaten to bomb Korea on Twitter. and blocked me for saying I hoped he bombed him for eating fucking dogs. So and by the way, I love this shit because you know me, right? Because it's so ludicrous. But now I have to make a decision, and I want the Cult of Cornette and all the listeners and everybody to help me with this, because this brings up, they blocked me for a way. So Monday, this will be over with, this coming Monday as we air on the program here. But how do I feel about Twitter? Because now I'm starting to say fuck Twitter. And you know, when I tend to hold a grudge. You've heard this.
There have been rumors.
Rumors and innuendos about it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, just in a couple of days, you know, from between this has happened and we're taping now. See, you know what I do, but the people may not. I get up in the morning, I come up to the office, and I check all the various news and the weather and the, goings on in the world. And I get on the Twitter and I look at my tweets and respond to people or whatever, or retweet stuff. That's in the morning when I get up. And the problem is, first of all, it takes so long now because I have literally, now that I have 137,000 of you fine folks or thereabouts, because if I only get on it once, I got the OCD. I've got to see the whole thing. So I'm always trying to scroll all the way down to 23 hours ago and then go back up so I don't miss anything, and I do it in order. But sometimes my thing's so jammed up that it just says, fuck it, loading's taking a while, or go back to top and I can't see things. Then I think I've missed something important. And then I'm stressing on it. And then several days a week, I'll come back in the afternoon and I'll check it again just to try to get that done, because I don't want it to pile up. And usually I'm only on it for an extended period of time if I'm sitting here writing a column or whatever, because, I don't do the smartphone thing. So I have found already that I've picked up about an extra hour and a half. And I figure if I save an hour a day over a month, that's 30 hours. That's more than an extra day in the month if I was not Twittering. I wouldn't be seeing shit that pisses me off. I wouldn't be hearing from stupid people that do things like defend, the dick spot guy or eating fucking dogs. And I would have at least a day and a half extra in my life from now on. That's one way to look at it. But there's 137 members. Yeah, there's 137. Really, no, there's 137,000 members of the Cult Cornette out there, and I don't want to let them down because I like all you guys, and we retweet and tweet all the stuff back and forth. A lot of people tweet that my feed is the best, or how much they like it when I take the piss out of President Fuck Knuckle, or the old wrestling items that I retweet and comment on, or just the general frivolity usually associated when people aren't eating fucking dogs. So that's a positive. So I don't want me being pissed at Twitter to deprive the people that follow me for the exact thing that they apparently don't like about me. So I'm gonna leave it over this weekend. I'm gonna leave it to the Cult of Cornette if I should quit Twitter or keep Twitter. So I think that's the hashtags, right? That's the big deal they do these days is the hashtags. You see them everywhere.
Yeah.
And if you want me to say fuck you, Twitter, you're supporting eating dogs and quit and not tweet no more, then hashtag me quit Twitter. But if you want me to keep Twitter and keep tweeting, then hashtag me keep Twitter and I'll keep tweeting and see how long it takes me to piss them off again. And then we can go from there. So do you think that's fair?
I think that's fair. It may be a little bit of a tricky way to track everyone, because if they're just hashtagging keep Twitter or, leave Twitter or fuck Twitter, I forget what it was, but
let's quit Twitter.
It may be mixed in with other things that have nothing to do with this specific issue, because it's not.
Okay, JC quit Twitter, or JC keep Twitter. See, there you go. And just let me know what you people think, or elsewise, perhaps everybody will just take up protest signs and storm the offices of Twitter, wherever the Twitter offices might be in this world.
This may really pick up. Some people may think we're talking about J.C. Chazé from the boy band, whichever boy band he was in.
I don't have any. Are you having a series of small strokes?
Maybe.
What you're saying. I don't even know if that's a name you just mentioned. But anyway, so there you go, folks. So we've had a fine kettle of fish come up over the weekend with all the practice of eating fucking dogs. And the people who apparently are not upset with that. Not frowned upon in this establishment.